Well, hello everybody and welcome along to the first race of the Asia Pacific Cup then. We're here, we have our car, we have our drivers, and we're ready to test ourselves against the next level of motorsport. Now, before we started the race, I think we should just take a look at the rules of the championship, which we didn't do last time. So, we have got qualifying for this, 10-minute sessions. It's not three-stage qualifying, so it's just one qualifying session of 10 minutes. It's only the top 6 that are going to get points, which is going to mean that the first few races are crucial, as that's probably our best chance to finish in the top 6 because of reliability. There is double points for the final race of the season, but we don't need to worry about that just yet. There's bonus points for the fastest lap and pole position. So I've talked about this before. Sometimes it's worth, if you're not going to finish in the top 6, just to pit the cars, stick some fresh tyres on right at the end and try and go for a fastest lap. But last time I mentioned that, I completely forgot to do it, so we'll try and remember this time anyway. There is refuelling. This is one I thought someone might be able to explain. Driver aids allow drivers can make use of technological improvements, decreasing the impact of driver skill. Can we develop driver aids, or is that something that's already on the cars? I'd be interested to see whether that's just something that is automatically given to the drivers and that we don't really have to manage, or whether there is some way of either building it or activating it in the race. I don't know. And the final one was real safety car only and short practice sessions of 12 minutes. So now we know what we're dealing with. We are going to go on to the first race. So people seem mixed as to whether we picked the right objective. 6th is going to give us more money, but 8th would have been more achievable. But we'll see. We've taken a risk going for 6th, but I'm pretty sure we can achieve it. So we're going to have a wet race by the look of it. Clear in practice and qualifying, which means it's going to be very difficult to get any sort of real practice done for the race if it's going to be wet. But it might be a split dry wet race, we don't know yet. Now, I'm going to go for 5th or above, because it's a no-brainer really. 2nd or above is 650,000, 5th or above is 800,000. So why would we go for 2nd? And 5th I think we can achieve if we get the reliability right. And I think all the parts are pretty much... Yeah, we haven't developed anything yet. Dreyfus has got the slightly better car. Actually no, they seem equal, which is fair enough. We're going to give them both equal opportunity, as they are equal drivers. Right, we're going to get going. I'm going to get practice done, and I shall meet you for the first qualifying session of this single-seater playthrough. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good to see where our cars shake out in the first race. So, after I've got practice done, I shall see you in qualifying. Okay, both Eka and Dreyfus are out for their first ever qualifying run for the team. Practice went pretty well, 98% for both of them. Went very well, actually, to be honest. We got up to level 2 on race trim, level 2 on super softs, which will help us a bit for qualifying, and if it's a wet race it won't really help us there, but at least if there is some dry running, we've got that bonus there as well. And I'm interested to see how we're going to get on here. I'd be happy, I want to be, I don't know, sort of 12th to 15th, I think. Banging on the door of the top 10 would be nice, but I don't know. I really don't know where our car's going to shake out. We did save quite a bit pre-season in building the car, just to make sure we could make some factory upgrades and had some extra money for some other stuff. Didn't want to go too heavy on the car, so hopefully that hasn't kicked us in the face. Hopefully we are somewhere in the midfield. Of course, we're aiming for 6th, so 12th and 13th would be bang on target. So if we can be sort of 12th to 15th, 16th, that would be good. I've got a lot of confidence in both our drivers to outperform the car a little bit as well. But then this is their first qualifying session, so we shall see. Eka across the line then and does a 1:23.5. Dreyfus coming up to the line now does a 23.8, so 3 tenths down on Eka. We're at the bottom of those that have completed their times so far. So it's not looking brilliant at the moment, but we'll see how we shake out. We are staying near the bottom of that field though. I'm hoping a few cars will slot in behind us. So Eka's got a good time above a couple of people. But we definitely do seem to be looking like we're going to be ending up about 16th, 17th at the moment. Let's just speed that up to get them back into the pits. We will wait till the track grip is at its highest to make our second runs. But yeah, Eka 16th, Dreyfus down in 20th. So we're very much down the back of that field. So yeah, Eka might be able to find a couple of attempts to get herself up to sort of 13th, 14th. Dreyfus needs to find a lot of time. It's not looking brilliant at the moment. Not looking as high up as I'd hoped. But these two have always raced well. And I have every confidence that they can do a good job. But we'll see if they can improve for the next run. Find the right time to send them out. Need to do it with around just over 2 minutes left, which is around about now. So Dreyfus will put some fresh super softs on. Out she goes. And now we'll send Eka out with a fresh set of super softs. And we'll see. This is very similar to where we are with our GT car at the moment. Just sort of banging on the door of the midfield, but not quite. But there should be a lot of improvements we can make over the season. So I'm not too disheartened yet. And the first few races are all about finishing. So as long as we can finish, we're okay. We should be okay to maybe score some points. It's top 6 as well, which means that we're going to have some cracking results to get any points. Otherwise, you may as well be... doesn't matter if you're 7th or 20th. So we've slowed it back down just to see their final runs. Dreyfus 1.1 through sector 2. Eka is 8 temps. So Eka going well again. She seems to have the edge over her teammate. Dreyfus has improved a bit though. Eka 1/10 off. Dreyfus improves to a 1:23.4. Not a bad time. And Eka did a... oh no, she hasn't crossed the line yet. 23.597, a little bit slower. So Dreyfus does jump her teammate and is the best of our two drivers in our first ever qualifying session for Octane Racing. But it's going to be 16th and 18th, which is okay. That midfield group from Rodriguez down to Tyler, pretty close. And that's going to be the guys we're fighting with in the race, it would look like. But I wasn't expecting miracles, so I'm not disappointed. Just think we could have done a little bit better, but it's all about the race and it's all about reliability in race number 1, and it's wet, so anything could happen. But 5th or above is our target. We haven't got that qualifying bonus, unfortunately, but I never really expected to. Right, so luckily we've got an engineer slot for intermediate tyres. I think we're going to go for that and quick fixes, because quick fixes is going to be incredibly useful in this race. And we're going to use Engine Expert and Nurse. This is all not going to be about performance. This is all going to be about getting to the finishing line, and all of that is going to help us. So we're going to start on intermediates. They're expected to last 13 to 15 laps. So I'll go for the upper end of that on both cars, 15 laps. Purely because there might be a crossover point, and we want to have as much fuel in the car to make it to that crossover point if it arises during the first stops. So 15 laps on both cars. We're going to go... you know what, we're just going to go neutral medium. I want to look after these cars. I'm really not bothered about making up places, because we should do that if we can make it to the finish with the minimum amount of repairs. So here we go then. The very first race in the Asia Pacific Super Cup is underway. Eka has made a good start, but has been blocked off by her teammate. Dreyfus holds 16th going into turn 1. We've got a lot of high-rise buildings to contest with here for the camera angle, so we'll try and find the best one as we go around. Not going to be that one, I don't think. Both teammates side by side at the moment. Dreyfus just gets the edge over Eka and stays ahead, but we're down in 17th and 18th at the moment. now. Everybody's pushing pretty hard, so it doesn't bother me. They're just destroying their cars. I'm just concentrating on getting these 2 cars to the end and hoping that brings us a top 6 result. So we'll speed it up a little bit as Eka battles again with a teammate. I'm a little bit worried about this. Just don't take each other off, guys. I know how competitive you two are, but there's no need to do it in race number 1 in these kind of conditions. Right, the rain looks like it might back off a little bit in a bit. Safety car? No, we'll ignore. There's no need to stop at the moment. 2 cars out, Vidal and Kanjiro. Vidal was leading, or was on pole. So that's 2 big names out of it. I presume they crashed with each other. So 2 leaders taking each other off there. So that bodes well for trying to get into the top 6. Let's speed that right up. Let's go back to low engine mode just to save that fuel. We might push when we restart under the safety car just to get those tyre temps up. They're a little bit cold at the moment. But considering the rain, it's incredibly high temperature out there, 31 degrees. So there shouldn't be too much problems with tyre warm-up. 2 cars did pit, Diostri and Zaranti. For 10% tyre life, I don't think it was really worth it, to be honest. They're not going to gain that many laps from doing that. We just need to keep an eye on that forecast, see if that rain is backing off or whether it stays constant after that lap 8 mark. So, let's see what kind of problems might arise later in the race. So, front wing and suspension, brakes and rear wing all at 50%, and they just dropped 7% when we were watching Eka there. And she's behind the safety car and not even pushing. That seems incredibly unfair. Why would you lose 7% of your front wing from going around about 60 miles an hour? Not agreeing with that at all, but hey ho, we know this was going to be a tough race. And we're back underway then, so we will go back to medium fuel. A little bit late on doing that. It doesn't seem to have cost us too badly. Tyre temperature's not good. I'm going to go back to conserve, because it's incredibly hot out there for the weather, although the temperature does seem to be dropping now. That rain does seem to be continuing that trend of dropping off. So it looks like there might be a crossover point onto dry tyres coming up imminently. So if we can make it to that crossover point, we should be in good stead. There's a bunch of cars hit. Safety car again. Sorry, I just had to turn some graphics settings down on the control panel that I had for an older game, so it might have been a little bit jerky up until this point, so apologies for that. It should be okay now. So yeah, a few cars were very opportunistic under the safety car. We're looking at dry weather not too far down the road though, so I don't see any point in pitting just yet. We may as well stay out. Let's go back to low to save that fuel. And so that's another car out, Stranby. The only thing I'm thinking, actually, I'm gonna pit purely because we can repair everything. Hopefully we can catch back up with the field. This is a little bit of a risk, to be fair. Let's put a bit of fuel in so we don't have to refuel quite as much, and we may as well change the tyres while we're at it. We'll pit drafts as well. I should have done this last lap, to be fair. But this is a good opportunity just to get these repairs done. Get the cars as good as they can be. To go back out. To be fair, that's changing a percent. That's 3%. 1%. It's really not going to make much difference, you know. I'm going to cancel that. I might cancel Eka's. What was Eka's changing to? 5, 7. Okay, Eka's car could probably do the work. She's lost quite a few percent. So we'll do it for Eka, but Drafe should be okay. Put that little bit of fuel in and some intermediate tyres, and she can make that pit stop. I think it's worth doing. It'll put us to the back of the field, but we're going to have to stop for dry tyres pretty quickly anyway. It's a long old stop. She's going to come back out in last place. Actually, she's ahead of 2 cars. Oh, 18th place is out. She's ahead of 1 car. As long as she can catch up the safety car, we haven't lost out too much. The safety car really isn't backing up the field, but we've been given another lap for some reason. So we're okay. They will catch up. So safety car will head to the garage this time around. Let's just go back to neutral to get those tyre temps back up a little bit. So I'm a little worried as to whether Dreyfus is going to make it to that crossover point. It's looking around about lap 14-15. She should be okay. She's got 9 laps of fuel on board. She's surrounded by people on brand new intermediate tyres, so it's going to be a difficult restart for sure. Let's go back up to medium for both cars, and we'll keep it on neutral as we are underway again. Then Dreyfus immediately losing a place into the final corner, just about holding on into turn 1, but she is moving backwards quickly now. But she's actually just held on to 11th, so she's holding her own. This is good. And she hasn't got long to wait until that crossover point. So we just need to let our drivers do their business at the moment. So Dreyfus, we need to keep an eye on her conditions. Brakes, suspension, front wing and rear wing are the problem. Engine standard part is okay, and our gearbox, we got quite a lot of reliability into it before the first race. We do have spare fuel, yep, but there's no point using it at the moment. Just want to look after these cars. A lot of safety cars today, which has made it a lot easier on the AI. I'm sure a lot of them would have been making repairs during their pit stop as well. So reliability might not be such a factor, but there's still 23 laps left in this race. So there's a lot that can still happen. So, looks like the rain is going to start up again. So holding on for that crossover point is pointless. Oh dear. So yeah, looks like it's going to be intermediates for most of the race. So Eka has already got that stop out of the way for the moment. Still incredibly warm out there. These tyres are almost overheating, but not quite. Not enough to go back onto conserve, I don't think. So we really need no more safety cars in this race if our reliability is going to work, or our reliability tactic even. And then we can see how long people are actually staying in the pits to repair. Tyre temps are actually getting really hot now. Let's go back to conserve. Don't want to eat up these tyres. You can see Dreyfus is comfortably at the head of this group, but the top 10 are pulling away. She hasn't quite got the pace to hold on to them. And of course, remember, 6th place is what matters today. If there is an opportunity at some point to try and go for a fastest lap, it would have been now, I think, putting on the dry tyres for a lap. And we could have got a fastest lap for 2 points, but I'm still going to hold out hope that we can get into that top 6 somehow today. If there's an opportunity at the end, when it doesn't look like we're going to get into the top 6, we may try and go for a fastest lap. We'll keep that in mind. Eka's surprisingly off the pace at the moment. She has got quite a lot more fuel on board than Dreyfus, but track's dried out. Yeah, it's only going to be for 1 lap. Only 1 lap, Clara. There's no real point. So this would have been the quickest time of the whole race by the look of it. And again, as I say, if we'd put the options on for that, we could have got 2 points, but no real need. Right, Dreyfus needs to pit. I think she should just get in. We'll put on a new set of intermediates. We'll fuel her up How many laps we got left? 19. This is going to be tricky for Dreyfus, to be fair. She's going to have to make 2 more stops when I don't think too many people are. No point in repairing everything. Everything seems to be holding up pretty well. She's just missed it round this time. It's a shame. Most of the field pitting. Some people have put wet tyres on. So they think it is going to definitely get wet enough for wet tyres pretty soon. But this is not the time to go on to them because it's pretty much dry weather out there. So very interesting from the AI there. Losing temperature in these intermediates. We need some more rain to really get this to work. Eka is in a good position here because she has more tyre life than most. And it's going to be quite a while before the wet tyres are going to be in their working range. Here comes the rain that we were hoping for. And Dreyfus comes back out in 5th. Why have all the AI have just destroyed themselves? Why have they put the wet tyres on? What a bunch of idiots. What an absolute bunch of asses. Right, I'm going to use this fuel because Dreyfus is going to have to put wet tyres on soon, but this is where she really needs to take advantage of it, and we're going to do the same with Eka. We're actually going to go to push, so we need to get the kind of advantage. Eka's already got it, you know. The AI have just gifted us first place. Right, we need to keep an eye on that gap. 34 seconds at the moment. 35, 36. Oh my god. What are the AI doing? Right. One more lap for Inters. I think Eka we might bring in this lap. She's already got such a huge advantage. It's still not wet enough, you know. That gap is still getting bigger. This is unbelievable. This is crazy. Screw it. Let's go back to medium and neutral. Right, Eka pit this time round. I think it's about ready for wet tyres. Fuel options, 16 laps to the end. How long are these going to last? 13 to 15. You know what? I'm going to let her go around once more. I think I'll bring Dreyfus in this time. So we'll put 15 laps of fuel in. I'm going to trust those parts will last till the end. And these wet tyres, to be honest, the AI are going to have to pit again though, so I'm not too bothered about pitting too early. Eka can pit this time around for those wets. We'll fuel it to the end so we don't have to refuel when we make our next stop, but we will have to make another stop, I'm sure. She's got the time to make those repairs now. She's got such a lead. We may as well. It's going to be 12 seconds. She should still get out in the lead. Yeah, those gaps are staying. Those gaps are still actually increasing. It's still time. It's still intermediate weather. 59, 60. Unbelievable. Dreyfus has got back out in second. We're 1-2 right here. We are a 1-2 right now. Keep calm. Keep calm, Jay. We can do this. Right, in comes Eka. She has an ungodly lead. So we're going to make all these repairs. If nothing goes wrong... Come on, guys. Slick stop. Let's do this. Perfect stop from Eka. She's going to get back out in first place. She has a 7-second lead over Dreyfus. 10-second lead. And we're good to the end. I don't know that the tyres are good to the end. We might have to make one more stop. But so are the AI. We have 9-second lead over Dreyfus. Dreyfus has a 14-second lead over John Stottier. And we'll keep an eye on that gap because they're going to be a lot quicker than us. Let's bear that in mind. This isn't over yet. There is still 13 laps to go out there. It is soaking wet. So our drivers are going to have to keep their concentration. Oh, I can't believe the AI have just gifted us first and second. That's... I'll take it. But it's really disappointing that the AI, after all this time, can make such a stupid decision. Because I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to put the wet tyres on to preempt the fact that they would need wet tyres in 4 or 5 laps. The thing is, the track was dry. So they lost 4 or 5 seconds a lap when they put those wet tyres on, which was disastrous. So they need to be able to work out that it's, even though they're going to need wet tyres, it would actually be quicker to put another set of intermediates on and then stop for the wet tyres. It's trying to be a bit too clever for its own good in this situation. And you can say, yeah, we read the situation correctly, but for the entire field to go for the same strategy, that's when it doesn't work. If a few drivers tried it, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's fair enough. But that's not what happened at all. It's a bit of a black mark for this game. It has them occasionally. You got to forgive it, I suppose. And you know what? I'm a little bit more willing to forgive it when it gives us first and second in our first race in the Asia Pacific Super Cup. I'm going to get that the right way around one day. Right, Dreyfus is eating a little bit into Ecker's lead. John Stier is slowly chipping away at Dreyfus's gap as well. 12 seconds for 10 laps. We should be okay though. And it depends if we're going to have to pit again. The AI, I think, definitely are. We might be able to stretch it. But to be honest, if the AI pit, we may as well take the free pit stop. Right, let's have a look what's being said. Gearbox is down to 23% for Ecker. Dreyfus brakes are the worrying part, but she seems okay on everything else. Ecker, it's that gearbox. Now, she's got the time to pit. To repair that gearbox in the pit stop if she wants to. But she might lose the lead to Dreyfus. So, without being able to ask the driver which one they'd prefer, go for the win, but they might break down. Or just finish second. I know what's better for the team is just to make her repair that gearbox and come back out in the lead, in second place. Right. Quite a few cars have pitted. I say that's not true. It's just John Stier that's pitted. So what I'm looking at now is intermediates are going to be the tyre to be on pretty soon. And it depends. If all the AI are going to pit again, which they should do, we'll go on to intermediates. If anybody stays out, it might be better for us to stay out on these wets, but still quite a way to go. 7 laps to go on these tyres is going to be tricky. And again, the AI just made that mistake. John Stier's pitted for the intermediates, the Austria's pitted for the intermediates. It's not the right time. And it's killed them. It has absolutely killed them. Right, Morono has pitted onto the intermediates, which would be a worry, but it's still not time. It's still not time. That gearbox has got to be repaired in the pit stop, so we've got to pit Ecker again. Yeah, okay. Right, everybody's pitting now. Right, we're going to bring Ecker in this time around. We're going to change to intermediates. Yeah. We are okay for fuel. We will repair that gearbox. It's going to cost us 8 seconds. It's going to be close between her and Dreyfus out of the pits. Do we just add that? Just be safe. Let's just be safe. Let's get these cars home. So Ecker will come in this time around. Dreyfus can afford to stay out there one more lap. Just push with her to get that tyre temp back up. Actually, no, let's not push. I want to make sure the car gets to the end. Right, it's crunch time. We get this right. Our pit crew do a good job, and we have a 1-2 in this race. Right, Dreyfus is passed. She will pit onto the intermediates. She'll be good for fuel. Parts. Is it worth just repairing that front wing? No, it's 4 laps. We'll be fine. And we'll go safe as well. Okay, Eka. Pit crew have done a great job. It's going to be close between her and Riberia. But she's fine. Because Riberia is pitted. 4th place is just miles away. This is unbelievable. The AI have just fucked up this race so badly. I can't even begin to explain the amount of errors they've made. We're going to win this race by over a minute. I mean, come on. It's a joke. So Eka actually easily rejoins in 1st place. She had that lap on the intermediate tyres. Don't worry about fuel. Just what do you want to do, Dreyfus? Catch Eka. I mean, you're 68 seconds ahead of 3rd place. I mean, you could start reading a book in there, Sunday paper. You'd still win this race. Actually, that's not a good thing to say. Just get to the finish point, girls. Come on. I can't quite. I'm just a little shocked again. The AI have mucked it up before. They've never mucked up this badly. Oh my god. There are some cars that are 3 minutes behind. 3 minutes. Eka's just lapped 6th place. You'd think we'd built like some Mercedes God car at this point. But no, we are one of the worst cars on the grid. Leclerc has actually got that gap down to 55 seconds now. That shows you how much quicker they are than us. That's 13 seconds in a couple of laps. It's taking a couple of seconds out a lap. But here we go then. Eka is going to come round to start the final lap of the race. Just keep it smooth. Keep it smooth, guys. This is dreamland. Again, I wish it wasn't in these circumstances. But I'm going to take it. I mean, I'm 100% going to take it. We got the strategy right. We made sure we had as minimum repairs as possible. And Eka wins the opening race of the season. Dreyfus comes home for an Octane 1-2 in their opening season in this championship. And everybody's got to be quaking in their boots now. This is the equivalent of like a Sauber 1-2 in Formula 1. Out of nowhere. Quite a few retirements, 4 cars, but there were still 16 cars running. That's 14 cars we have beaten by over a minute today. Eka takes her opening win in the Asia Pacific Super Cup. And Dreyfus comes home in second for her first podium. Eka did a better job than Dreyfus today. Even with her gearbox repair, which took a bit longer, she still managed to win the race. I think it was those couple of repairs and that fresh set of tyres that we pitted under the safety car that gave her the advantage over Dreyfus today. But it was the AI just pitting too early every time that really did it in for them. And wow. We even did one more stop than most of the field. And we still beat them by a minute. Love that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that race. I certainly did. Let me know in this episode whether you've had similar things with the AI, whether you've seen similarly stupid things. It's great for your own results, but I think most people will agree it's not much fun. I can take the odd result. If that starts happening often, then it's a problem that needs to be fixed. But wow. 1-2. and 9 points clear in the championship. What a start. What a start. Next time, I haven't forgotten, I will be looking for a reserve driver. We're going to be concentrating on marketability and maybe a paid driver that we can put in practice. That's going to be most useful for the GT series, but I will do it for this as well. We can start trying to train up a young gun that might usurp one of these drivers one day. But after today's race, do we need new drivers? Not yet. They did a perfect job today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Do, of course, keep your comments coming down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the episodes as well. It means a lot. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with everything. And also go check out the GT series if you want some more Motorsport Manager. So, wow. I'm still a little bit in shock. I can't wait to see your guys' reaction to that race. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you again very soon.